Board of School Trustees meeting of August 12th, 2024 to order. Please stand and join us in a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Patron concerns, we have Mr. Jim Post. Questions from the workshop. Mr. Post.
I just had a couple of questions. I knew the meeting was public, but I could make comments on, so I just had a couple of questions. That October 1st date, get the date turned in, and that's what we get money from the state, correct, per student? Is that how that works?
October 1 is the date that we take the, what we call the actual count.
Yeah, it was like
The official count.
the census count, or whatever it is.
Yes.
That's when half of the school year.
And then they do it.
Second count there.
February.
Second count. That's what I thought. My question was really, is there a way, because I've seen it happen with all the kids I've had through the system, and where a kid goes to a private school for the first part of the year, and after that magic October 1st or October 10th, I think it maybe whatever it's been.
Yes.
All of a sudden, that student with special needs ends up back in public schools.
Yes, that happens.
And all that money went to the other
Yes.
school, and then they transfer to ours. Is there a way to make any kind of appeals when something like that happens?
No, sir,
Not until February?
not until February.
Okay, that was one of my questions. Okay. And then the other question was, when does that tax rate, I know you set the budget on an approximate tax rate thing, and then when does that get solidified? What's the date that has to be decided?
They will review our budget, not until December. And usually December 15th, 16th, I'm dealing with questions with them. They'll wait until after our last board meeting in December to finalize, just so that we have time to hit our budget for the January 1 timeline.
Okay, okay, that was it. I think this, and so we're getting some new buses. The old buses, are those sold at auction, or how's that work? Are they traded in?
Traded in generally. We have sold a couple in the past, but generally part of our purchase price is the trade of the bus that we get rid of.
All right. And one last one, when we make a contract for building, like the new football field at Castle, were there penalties built in if they weren't done on time?
There wasn't penalty clauses, we used penalty clauses for, but we did not disturb, but so far, they're not like.
Okay, good deal. Well, that's what I had. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Moving on to agenda item number 4, guest speaker presentation. We have with us the Warwick County Soil and Water Conservation. Dr. Redmond, would you like to?
Sure, yes, we're happy this evening to welcome Holly McCutcheon. As you know, we've been trying to bring in different partners who work with us and who work with our students, and so we're glad to have Holly here tonight to talk a little bit about how we partner with her organization.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. As she said, my name is Holly McCutcheon. I'm the Executive Director of the Warwick County Soil and Water Conservation District. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for being a partner. Thank you for supporting us. We've been trying to get a county employee for our office. We only have one full-time county employee. The rest of us are grant-funded or self-funded. So I appreciate your all support and seeing that we are a needed resource in the county. So I appreciate that. I just want to tell you thank you for that. But I'm just going to give you a little bit on how we partner with you throughout the year. Can you guys see that okay? Is that, I don't know, the light, is there a light that we could turn off? I don't know. Oh, there you go. It's really, okay. Okay, thank you. So who we are the Warwick County Soil and Water Conservation District. We are not unique. Every county in the union has one. Started in 1937 with the Dust Bowl. It was seen then that something was needed to be able to help us to maintain our soil. And so the USDA did the Standard State Soil Conservation District, and that became law. Warwick County, we were established in 1952. We were established then to start. And so our job how we look at it is to help with our natural resources within the county through educational, technical assistance, and bringing in workshops. Those are some of the things we do. Our board, as you can see, is Logan Springston is our chair, Peter Rudolph, vice chair, Paula McGuire is our treasurer, and then Baker and Brad Spiker are our members. So everyone's welcome to come to our board meetings. We have them way early, at 7 in the morning on the fourth Thursday of the month, unless everybody's busy, and then it gets changed. So we try to let you know ahead of time. Unfortunately, we are not, I wish we could be, but everybody, it's a volunteer position, as you guys know, on the board. That happens. So anytime, you guys are always welcome to come, and if you ever want to join and become an associate member, we would love to have you also. So what we offer the schools, one of the things that we offer is education in the classes. We have visited over, I counted around 1,200 of your students this past year is what we have been educating your students the past year. Went to classes, we love going into classes. We go in, we talk about, this past year we talked about pollinators, we talked about bees, we talked about soil health. And we bring in our augmented reality sandbox before. We have done watershed studies. We've done all sorts of things. Really, anything that the teacher needs us on, we love to come. I used to be a former teacher. I taught high school biology and environmental science, and I know it makes more, I could have said whatever I wanted. When I brought in a guest speaker, it just sounded better, So I understand how that is. So we would love to partner anytime you all need help, with natural resources, agricultural. You tell us what your subject is, and I have a great staff, and we can design your lesson plan. We can come in and do it, and we love to do that. We also have education trunks. If you ever go on our website, you can drop-down menu, you can find these. These are all Indiana standard based. These are some of the grades that they cover, and so we have several teachers that will use them. We'll bring them to the school, drop them off, and when they're done, come back and pick them up. And we don't mind teaching them, but sometimes the teachers just want to use it. They only want to use half of it, but it's there for their use. So that's one way that teachers can easily access our education. We also are partners with the National Association of Conservation Districts, and with that, we always do a poster contest. And each year, it's a new theme. This past theme was May the Forest Be With You, and these are our winners this year that we had. So about 4 years ago, I don't know if you remember me coming, one of your students ended up winning the state one, and she ended up going to national. So we appreciate that. The class that had the most participation was Tecumseh. We had a teacher there, and we had the most participation with that one. They got a pizza party. So,
What grade level was that?
I'm sorry?
What grade level?
It was the environmental science class, so it was high school. Yeah, so she had one ninth grader, I think, but the rest, yeah. There was 9th, 10th, and 11th, I believe. I don't know if there's any seniors, but yeah, that's what we had. So we have a lot of the elementary teachers. We need to find out a good time when to present a lot. Last year, the association, the conservation districts, they were a long time getting us the information because we always want to get it to the teachers before the testing because we know when testing starts, it's really hard. So hopefully it'll be earlier this year. They didn't give us our agenda until later on in the year. But we always, we give the students monetary prizes for first, second, and third place and certificates. We also, I told the one teacher we'd be glad to teach about the subject too before they did the contest if they went to last year. Another of the things we participate in is our Southwestern Envirothon. It's actually held here in Spencer County. I live in Spencer County. It's held here in our county. I apologize. And Princeton Community Schools won. I will say we have not had we've not had any Warwick High Schools to participate. We wrote a grant to Toyota that would pay for the sub and would pay for the bus, thinking maybe that was the holdup, but I know kids are really busy. But if any time you guys want to be interested in participating in that, let us know and we can help you out there. They tested on 5 different subjects. It's like a round robin. They go through, they learn about them all year, and then they come there and they take a test after we have guest speakers about it. So that was marathon. Ag Days, we were there. We saw all of your cute little kids on Ag Days, and all of them went home with a tree. We buy trees then for all the third graders that they go home in. And we learned our lesson. They're not the tall ones that 5 years ago or 6 years ago you guys got. They are the smaller ones. But they bag them up themselves and they go home with them. And then we talked about, we had the watershed, trees, and then we had a water cycle game were the 3 that we played that day. Another thing that we offer is Hoosier River Watch. We have a trained Hoosier River Watch watershed coordinator now in our county, and they will come out with your groups of schools and do water testing on site, if that's something you're interested in doing, or teaching about watersheds. Anytime they would need that, we'd be glad to be a partner of that. We also have technical assistance. These are 2 schools that we have worked at in the past with raised beds and rain barrels. We'd be glad anytime a teacher or kids get excited about something in the environment, we'd love to be able to support them. So if anybody comes with ideas, call us and we can maybe partner with money and technical assistance. We would love to see that. The green teams, I've worked with them a couple of times. It seems like since COVID, everything kind of fell apart. So if you ever have if kids have an idea, we want to foster it, because that's the only way things change, is if we start at this level. So if a kid has any ideas, let us know. We'd also love to partner with New School. Anytime you guys get ready for us, just let us know. We have some great ideas, but let us know. Another way we partner with, we will bring in teacher workshops if you guys are ever interested in them. We have Project Learning Tree, Project WET, Project WILD. These are all come with a state-based curriculum that's already made out, and it's adjusted to each state. So if a teacher workday that's looking for some other type of professional development, let us know, and we'll bring in these workshops for you guys. So just let us know on that. And then Conservation Crusaders is one that we do in the summertime. It's a great, does everybody know about Conservation Crusaders? Okay, it's a summer opportunity that we have. We're in Freedman Park, Boonville City Lake, Linville, and Denison Park. And so we go to those areas because we felt like the northern end of the county, nobody came to them in the summer, so we wanted to make sure that we were doing those. And it's all about conservation. So June is always Habitat Month, July is soils, and then in August it's water. And so we have a great time. We have snacks, they do 3 or 4 STEM activities, we take a hike, we teach about being in the environment. We feel like so many kids know about all the animals in Africa and not the ones in Indiana. So it's all Indiana-based. We did caves this year, and so we love it. We have a national award for it and a state award. We partner with Purdue Extension in the park systems, and we have lots of good volunteers. So that is another thing, if any of you guys are ever interested in it, we'd love for y'all to be a part of. And one thing also that we offer, you may recognize some of these people. These are some, Kaylee Holder was a past intern who's now your FFA teacher. And then Cordell Herring was our intern this summer. Morgan Sheeter, which was in the back, I forgot to put him on it. He was your intern, and we hired him full-time now. And then the other 2, these are our stalling ladies that help us with volunteer. But we really want to provide an opportunity for the kids in Warwick County to understand that there is opportunity to come back and be in the ag field or natural resource field here in Warwick County. So this is a great way. By being in our office, we take them around a lot of the different agencies, the Natural Resource Conservation Service, Indiana State Ag, the parks. We want them to see what's out there, and hopefully in the back. Cordell's now looking at Farm Service Agency, maybe working with them in the future. So, and wanting to come back. I don't know about you, but a lot of times with me being in Spencer County, our kids leave us. And so we're always trying to look for ways that they can come back and have opportunities. And so we do an internship program in the summer. So college-age kids, if you know of any, send them our way in the summer, and we'd love to have them. And we're really proud of Kaylee, and she's already had us in the classroom last year when she was at the middle school, and I know we'll be back in there helping her this year too. So I just want to say thank you again. I left my business card in case anybody had questions later on or any follow-up questions. But again, thank you guys. I appreciate what you do educating our kids because we need smart kids. So what can I answer? Can I answer any questions?
I had a thought, and your curriculum that you have maybe not fit, it doesn't fit exactly what I'm thinking, but my work is in the civil trades, and we just started civil trades as a pathway, and that might be something to think about in the future to get, maybe Dr. Revan, we could get, Drew with Holly, that, SWCD focuses, I'm sure, on soil and erosion. So erosion's a huge
We-
thing.
Right,
for-
yeah, for civil, we have, we are a big partnership, so the
Yeah.
Natural Resource Conservation Service has engineers, so we could easily bring our engineer down to talk to the
I
students.
think that would be a really good
great.
resource, because I know even in my field, I mean, even SWCD reviews erosion plans a lot of times. And for those kids in that pathway, when the time's right and we get, everybody ready, I think that might be something they could look at just for conversation,
Yeah, I think it'd be good for people to realize that engineers don't always have to build roads,
Correct.
because with the ag engineering, that's a big field.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we'd love to bring in, and if we don't know it, we'll bring in somebody who does. So,
Holly and her team, they do great work. Anytime that the teacher has wanted something, they've always gone above and beyond. So we always try to make sure that we get her information out in the list of trunks that they
Yes.
had that she showed earlier. We try to get all of that information out to our teachers, but there'll be a good time after we get, a couple weeks in and get school settled, we would be happy to get all of your information back
Yeah,
out.
we usually try to wait till September, because we know
Yes.
everybody's busy,
Yes.
and we send it out, and then you've always been really good about passing it out to all the teachers. We're just a resource. We know everybody's busy, but if it's, we did soil health because that was a standard in first grade, right? And that's kind of hard, really. So we loved it. We brought in worms and, and we kind of hopefully broke it down to their levels. So we really enjoyed, being a resource for that, because it allowed us to go out and be out in classes, so.
Very good.
If I could just say a couple of things, I kind of know about this. Marathon, Glenn and Elizabeth Rudolph had a marathon at Boom High School for quite
Oh,
some
okay.
time. And I would love to see that again, because it's what the kids learn and do, and what they can do. But she's very modest, because Warwick County, the Conservation Crusaders not only was recognized at the state, but they sent them to New Orleans.
Yeah.
And presented what
Mardi
they
Gras.
had done to them. But in Indiana, over the last 6 or 7 years, we implemented a new program for the National Soil Conservation Service, and then we prototyped, because it's not just farmers. We started the Urban Soil Conservation Program in Indiana, which is now over the whole state. So we have an unbelievable staff down there that have done great things. And if you have not been to a Conservation Crusaders, you should go. It's amazing. The kids they got pelts, they got all these different things, and the kids just love
Yeah,
it.
it is fun, the kids, and they're so fun. They got geodes, they got to crack open geodes this year and go home with the geodes, so they thought that was pretty cool. But Warwick Foundation partners with us, the Warwick Parks Foundation, and helps us fund that Conservation Crusaders, so I appreciate all of our partnership, and thank you, Jeff. Yeah, I didn't go on with everything we do, because I figured y'all just wanted school stuff, but definitely have adult education. If you guys ever know, you want to learn about something, let us know, and we'll be glad to get someone to go. Okay.
Thank you, Holly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to agenda item number 5, consideration of routine business. Dr. Redden.
Thank you, Mrs. Bahamas. The routine items include approving the minutes of the school board meeting held on July 22nd, 2024, and approving the claims and signing the docket for August 12th, 2024. I recommend the board approve the routine items as presented.
So move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Eigner and a second by Mr. Mosey. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Dr. Redmond, I believe we're ready for 6, consideration of items for board action.
Thank you, Mrs. Bahamas. Agenda item 6A. In your board packet, you will find updated policy 4040, student attendance. This policy has been revised with updated language to ensure compliance with Indiana law. The first reading of this policy was held on July 22nd, 2024. A second reading will occur tonight, at which time the board may choose to take action. And if you recall, last meeting, I pointed out that we have just updated our attendance policy just a couple of years ago. So the only things that we added to become to be compliant with law for two areas. One is we have a statement now that says a student who has been designated as a habitual truant may not be allowed to participate or continue to participate in extracurricular and or co-curricular activities. And the second change has to do with our kindergarten through sixth graders, who now, if they fall in a 10-week period with 5 unexcused absences, then there are 3 things that have to happen. One is the school staff, upon the student's 5th unexcused absence in that time frame, must have a written notice sent to the parents. Then the school shall hold a conference, and then the school shall establish an attendance plan. And those are the changes to the existing policy, the additions, I should say, to the existing policy. I recommend the board approve this updated policy as submitted.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Baker, a second by Mr. Franz. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item 6B, consider approving a change to the number of days worked for cafeteria supervisors. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilhelmus. In your board packet is a request from the Food and Nutrition Director, Mrs. Shanae Rao, to change the number of days for cafeteria supervisors from 185 to 180. All of the supervisors will continue to work more than 180 days. This change will make tracking easier for the Food and Nutrition Department and easier for payroll. No one will make any less money due to the change. The proposal has been approved by the Personnel Committee. The motion supersedes what is stated in the support staff handbook until at which time the handbook can be updated and will come to the board later in the fall. I recommend the board approve this request as submitted. I'll make that motion.
We have a motion by Mrs. Metzger,
I'll
a
second.
second by Mrs. Glover. Is there any discussion?
Yes,
This seems odd.
yes.
I saw this, and I don't need to pull it, but it's like,
I'll try to give you the in a nutshell version.
okay, yeah.
So, and Dr. Gresham's here as well, because he's been part of this, working with Shanae and working with Personnel Committee. So, my understanding is the 180 days matches our school year. Supervisors were then also working those additional 5 days in the summer. Now that we have all of the additional summer feeding, we're paying them differently in the summer by green sheeting. Is that correct, Dr. Gresham?
They get beyond the 5, which were built into their contract, and so we had to track those 5 first, and then track the rest of them. This will make all of the tracking of the summer in one line rather than 2 different buckets.
There's an overlap. Okay.
Yes. So we'll have 180 days for the school year, and then once we
Additional
pass the
days on the
5
separate
days in the summer, then we green sheet all that out.
Good enough.
And no one
Yes,
will
it
make,
is confusing, Jordan, because I
Yeah.
actually asked Dr. Graham, like, what is this agenda item?
Yeah.
I actually asked him the same thing. Yes.
Yeah.
and no one will make any less. This
That's correct.
does not affect the monetary salary that they're.
That is correct.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Item 6C, consider approving an MOU for Castle High School and Evansville Christian Life Center. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilhelmus. In your board packet, you will find a request from the Director of Student Services, Dr. Walt Lambert, to review and sign the Memorandum of Understanding between Evansville Christian Life Center and Castle High School for the Truth Talks program for the 24-25 school year. This MOU outlines the specifics of the program regarding dating violence and has been viewed by the Warwick County School Corporation Attorney, Mr. Whitehead. I recommend the board approve this request as presented.
So,
We have a motion by Mr. Franz, a second Mr. Baker. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item 6D, consider approving annual vendor agreements. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you. In your board packet, you will find a request for Warwick County School Corporation to enter into an annual vendor agreement with All Blown Up Inflatable Rentals and with Backyard Glass. These agreements will remain in effect until June 30th, 2025. I recommend the board approve these requests as presented.
We have a motion by Mrs. Metzger, second by Mr. Mosby. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item 6E, consider accepting donations. Dr. Redmond.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilhelmus. In your board packet, you will find the following donation requests. At high school, Hudson John Deere, donation of a 2024 Gator to the Boonville High School Athletic Department valued at $16,000. At Tecumseh High School, a $500 donation from the IBEW Local 16 to be used for the THS football team needs. And at Tecumseh High School, $577.74 donation on behalf of Sierra Cormier through Centerpoint Benevity Program to be used for the THS Little Braves boys youth basketball needs. I recommend the board approve these donations.
I move to approve accepting donations.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mrs. Glover, a second Mr. Eigner. Is there any discussion?
No, well, I'd just like to say how thankful we all are for all the donation, the public and private and organizations. It really means a lot and contributes a lot to the schools and to the children.
Thank you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
As my understanding, the athletic director at Boonville High School, not to talk bad about anybody, but he contacted a lot of businesses. And Hudson said, yeah, we'll do that. And I think that's wonderful out of it.
Yes.
Personally, retired farmer, never drove anything green, but like John Deere they came back for us and
Yes.
they were using it. I mean, it's, and they're gonna get a new one each year.
Yes.
Is what I understand.
wow.
They're gonna take the old and, I think that's great.
It is. And you're right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, we call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Item 7, consideration of personnel recommendations. Dr. Gresham.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilhelmus. We have been busy in the HR office, and
Indeed.
a large agenda for you tonight. Agenda item A, consideration of employment certified staff positions. We have Marissa Wells and Kelsey Fabian, special education teachers at Boonville Middle School, Kayla Andre, special education teacher at Castle High, Dane Russell, special education teacher at Boonville High, Shelley Brown, fourth grade teacher at John H. Castle, Andrea Spall, fourth grade teacher at Linville Elementary, Eric Daniels, fourth grade teacher, and Shanice Haldeman, temporary kindergarten teacher, both at Oak Elementary. And the following support staff positions: Jennifer Mundy and Denise Rogers, program assistants at Chandler Elementary, Brandy Schnook and Erica Ingram, program assistants at Boonville High, Leah Stocks and Kelsey Jennings, job share program assistants at John H. Castle, Cheryl Emmons, a program assistant at John H. Castle, Katrina St. Clair, Fawn Delano, and Ashley Miller, program assistants at Castle High, Dylan Johnson, multi-responsibility at Castle High, Angelica Romero, ABS program assistant at Sharon Elementary, J.D. Overton, program assistant at Logue Elementary, Alexandra Clark, Caitlin Rice, and Elizabeth Elsa, program assistants at Newburgh Elementary, Drew Tilley, program assistant at Boonville Middle, Nidhai Mishra, and Michael Spangler, program assistant at Castle North, Joanna Peacock, 4.75-hour cafeteria position at Castle North, and Cunningham, program assistant at Castle South, Elizabeth Johnson, program assistant at Oakdale Elementary, and Carrie Jenkins, certified occupational therapy assistant.
I make a motion to approve all the new hires. Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Mosby to approve the new hires and a second by Mr. Baker. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Dr. Gresham.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilhelmus. Agenda item B, approve the ECA positions. In your board packet is a list of the 2024-2025 ECA positions. I recommend the board approve these positions and replacements to the same as presented.
I move to approve.
We have a motion by Mrs. Glover, a second by Mrs. Metzger. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Agenda item C, leave requests. Sarah Donnell, a first grade teacher at Oakdale Elementary, Adel Pell, language arts teacher at Castle High, Jonathan Smith, class D maintenance, Alyssa Williams, physical education teacher at Boonville High, Abby Gore, deaf and hard of hearing teacher, Margaret Carter, social emotional behavior assistant, Trevor Wagner, grade teacher at Sharon Elementary, Carrie Rice, job share ABS program assistant, Mylan Marovich, program assistant at Boonville High, Aaron Williams, a multi-responsibility position at Castle High, and Angel Thacker, 6.0 cafeteria position at Newburgh Elementary.
I make a motion to approve all the new hires. Second.
Agenda item
I move to approve the leave request.
We have a motion by Mrs. Glover, a second by Mr. Franz. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Dr. Gresham?
Thank you. Agenda item D, transfers. Kayla Smith from 7.75 hours at Castle North to 5.25 hours at Castle North. Joanne Monroy from 4.75 hours at Castle North to 5.0 hours at Castle North. Lacey Fussner from 3.25 hours at John H. Castle to 6.5 hours at John H. Castle. Agenda item E, resignations. Skyland Jenkins, Program Assistant, Boonville High, resignation effective July 22nd, 2024. Melissa Jackson, Program Assistant at Castle High, resignation effective July 25th, 2024. Evan Cheney, Program Assistant, Castle High, resignation effective July 24th, 2024. Emily Holderfield, ABS Program Assistant, Sharon Elementary, resignation effective July 25th, 2024. Duribe Dafa, Program Assistant at Castle High, resignation effective August 5th, 2024. Springer, Program Assistant, Newburgh Elementary, resignation effective July 28th, 2024. Joshua Deck, 3.5-hour cafeteria position at Castle South, resignation effective July 12th, 2024. Emily DePhillips, Program Assistant at Castle North, resignation effective July 31st, 2024. Brady Keller, Program Assistant at Castle South, resignation effective July 31st, 2024. Jesse Metzger, Program Assistant at Castle North, resignation effective August 1st, 2024. Christine Brown, Bus Driver, resignation effective August 6th, 2024. Dorothy Doss, 3.5-hour cafeteria position at Castle North, resignation effective August 7th, 2024. Jacqueline Daniel, Program Assistant at Boonville High, resignation effective August 23rd, 2024. Shirley Chappell, a 4.75-hour cafeteria position at Boonville High, resignation effective August 16th, 2024. And agenda item F, retirements. Linda Schmidt, Secretary Treasurer at John H. Castle Elementary, retirement date effective December 31st, 2024. And Brad Harrison, Homeschool Advisor at Chandler Elementary, retirement date effective December 31st, 2024.
Thank you, Dr. Gresham. That was quite a list. Agenda item 8, reports. Dr. Redmond.
I just have a few announcements. First of all, I just want to give a huge shout out to all of our teachers, employees, support staff, operations, everybody for getting us to such a nice, smooth start to school this year. I hate to say these things because it jinxes us, but we've had a super quiet, nice start to school this year, and that's just due to a lot of hard work from a lot of people. So I just wanted to thank everybody for that. And then I wanted to make a couple of announcements about events this week. Tomorrow night, the 13th, we're having a second community open house at Warwick Pathways and Career Center. We had one last year in October, but there's still quite a few community members that I run into who have said that, they wish they'd had an opportunity to go out there and see the facility. So the parents are having their open house first, but doors will be open from 6:30 until 8 o'clock tomorrow night for anyone in the public who would like to come see our facility. And then this Friday at Boonville High School, they are going to have an open house of sorts for anybody in the public who would like to walk the new turf field. We have some memorials and things that we've cleaned up and have set those back in place, and we're going to have a recognition of those families for those memorials at 7, right before the scrimmage begins. But the open house for the fields from 5 until 6, and that's this Friday, August 16th at Boonville High School. All are welcome.
And one quick question about that. So are we on schedule with Castle High School's
Yes,
close?
we are.
Anticipation is to begin the infill on Thursday. How long that's taking them, I don't know. They're working night shifts. They've got 2 crews, but they're going to be close. But
Thank
it's moving forward. If you looked at it Friday, and you looked at it today, the amount of work.
Huge difference.
Huge.
Yes.
Thank you. The other thing I'd like to mention, we did lose a former teacher, Mrs. Donna Wilson, and I was fortunate enough to get to do my teaching with Mrs. Leanne Wallace, who was next door to Donna Wilson at Logue in the 3rd grade years ago. And I know her son, Mike Wilson, is our clerk of the works, and several people are familiar with Donna Wilson. So if you think about her, keep her in your thoughts and prayers, and the family.
Thank you.
So she taught there for many, many years. Neat lady, wonderful teacher. Otherwise, we have a September 9th personnel, food and nutrition and custodial meeting, 6:30 here in this building. And then September 10th, 7:30 at the admin office, we'll have our construction / pathways meeting. And we also have one tomorrow morning at 7:30 at the admin building.
And the 21st is transportation.
Oh, go right
Oh, I'm sorry.
At 8:30?
Thank you. The team approach here.
Anything else?
Policy and Committee, August 26th, Policy and Curriculum. August 26th, 5:30 here at Central Services.
Oh, and I have one last thing. I want to thank Dr. Redmond and her whole crew for the wonderful beginning of school opening at Castle High School. I think that's the most fun I've had in 20 years or more. It was just a delightful get-together with all of the staff and teachers. The whole group was together, sitting in the bleachers at Castle High School, and Dr. Redmond and the crew did a phenomenal job with that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. We had lots of great feedback, and I was a little nervous about, we really needed to move it because we've just outgrown the auditorium, but, it's a different feel when you move into a gym setting, but I think it worked, and now the pressure's on for another good message
Yes.
for next year.
You have to work on those walking songs.
Right, that's right.
All
I would
right.
like to say our superintendent did a very excellent job welcoming all of these students.
Thank you,
It's fun.
thank you.
All right, anything else for the cause? Thank you. Meeting.